maging ang kapamilya actress na si Bella Padilla ay kinahihiya din ang ginagawang pagkakalat ng kanyang tito Robin Padilla sa Senado. Ito nga ay matapos itong masangkot sa pagtulong kay Bato de la Rosa upang makatakas sa himpilan ng Senado. Ayon sa aktres, labas daw umano siya sa kalat ng kanyang tito at hindi niya tinotolerate ang ginawa nitong pagtulong kay Bato. Tila senyales na nga daw ito na talagang maging si Bella Padilla ay nandidiri din sa ginawang kawalangyaan ni Robin Padilla.
Grabe. Pang ilang araw pa lang ni Cayetano. And yet, ang dami nang nangyari under his Senate presidency. Pilipinas, kaya nyo pa ba? Di ba parang nagiging circus na tayo? Sa tingin mo, yung tatay kaya nila Cayetano na si Rene Cayetano na dating lumaban para sa impeachment ni Erap at buksan yung envelope, sa tingin nyo kaya ngayon natutuwa siya sa mga anak niya, kay Pia at kay Alan Peter, na kung ano-ano yung pinagagagawa sa Senado? Nakaka-proud kaya yun para sa isang ama? Kung nabubuhay siya, proud kaya siya? At itong si Robin Padilla, kung nabubuhay si Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago at masigawan siya sa plenaryo, so ngangaw-ngaw din siya at magsusumbong din siya sa ethics committee, magko-complain din siya. Tandaan mo, Robin, Senate plenary yan. Senador ka na, hindi ka grade 1 na nagsusumbong sa teacher mo. Alam niyo, sa totoo lang, mas okay pa yung mga students sa classroom na very orderly sila at nakikinig sa kanilang mga teachers. Hindi nagsa-cellphone kapag may nagsasalita. Hindi yung patayo-tayo lang. Hindi yung nag-iingay habang may nagsasalita. Eh kayo dyan sa Senado, saan ang disiplin nyo? Kayo ba ang mga kailangan tularan ng mga batang to? Ng next generation? Hindi ba kayo nahihiya? Na kayo-kayo dyan, mukha kayong maze runner? Para kayong mga nagte-temple run? Subway surf? Ano next? Chinese garter? O ano pa ba yung mga patintero? Mga ganyan. Ano pa ba ang mga games na kailangan nyo? Langit lupa? Monkey? Yan ba yung mga gusto nyong laruin dyan sa Senado? Hindi na kayo kagalang-galang. Tinatanggal nyo yung word na honorable. Hindi kayo dapat i-honor. Nakakahiya kayo. All over the news, all over the world. Kayo ang laman at nakakahiya. Ang disgrace na binibigay niya sa Philippines. You are so disappointing. All the Filipino people. You are our representatives. And yet, look at what you are doing to our country and to our nation. Ito namang si Robin. Hindi ka talaga nagsisilbi sa taong bayan. Ang pinagsisilbihan mo, yung si Bato. Hindi ko nga alam bakit nandyan ka pa ba. Sayang ang pasweldo sa'yo. Pinapasweldo ka ng taong bayan pero ganyan ang asta mo. Ano ka? Hindi ka ba nahihiya? Kung ako sa'yo, step down. You don't deserve to be there and we Filipinos don't deserve you to serve us because you are not even serving us. Oh, ito naman. Ito namang sila Loren. Ano na nangyari, Sen? Grabe naman. Sobrang taas ng pagtingin ko sa'yo. Nung journalist ka pa lang, sobrang taas ng tingin ko sa'yo. Isa ka dun sa mga journalist na hinahangaan ko at ina-idolize ko. Pero ngayon, bumagsak. Bumagsak lahat. Hindi ko rin maintindihan kung ano nangyayari. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan. Nakakadismaya, nakakadisappoint. Surprising. Ang dami yung surprises since Monday. Ang dami yung pasabog. So today, what's in store for us? Ano na namang theatrical itong ibibigay nyo sa amin for today? Anong klaseng pasabog na naman ito? Anong klaseng disciplinary action na naman kaya ang gagawin nyo dyan na mga drama na gusto nyo atang palitan si Coco Martin o gusto nyo sumali sa Sigabo? Ito naman si Amy, magbibintang agad. Hindi pa sigurado. O ano na, mangga, bakla, kulang acting mo. Hindi ka papasa kay Direk Cathy Sampana. Hindi effective, kulang ka pa sa internalization. Bakla, mag-attend ka muna ng workshop. Halatang halata naman yung mga drama nyo dyan. Halatang halata naman na staged masyado yung ginawa nyo. Guys, galit na ang taong bayan. Baka naman. Baka lang naman. Kasi nakakahiya na. At isalba nyo naman yung mga kabataan na nanunood sa inyo everyday at nakatutok. Tapos ganyan yung mapapanood nila. Ganyang klase. Eh sila orderly sa classroom. Nakikinig. Saan ang discipline? May nagsa-cellphone, may nagkukwentuhan, may nakatayo, umiikot-ikot. Ano ba? Nasaan ba talaga kayo? Senate ba talaga yan? Walang professionalism. Walang etiquette. Decorum. Napakagulo nyo. At kayo na dapat na nagbibigay ng example sa mga tao, kayo pa yung nakakadiri at nakakahiya.
Since we're very much conservative, no? So I wish to invite the attention of the public to the fact that we have never seen the defense evidence, even the slightest way. This is for the reason that in the entire proceeding before the Justice Committee, the defense team never appeared, never availed of the opportunity, and never presented even a single evidence, no? So, of course, we have seen the evidence. They're strong enough for the purpose of determination of probable cause. Pero pagdating po sa trial, assuming that the committee report, the finding of probable cause will be affirmed by at least 1/3 of the members of the House, assuming only, pagdating po sa trial, I think it is important to see first the defense evidence, no? We've seen the prosecution's evidence, we've seen the complainant's evidence, but we need to see first the defense evidence for us to be able to assess kumusta ang strength ng evidence for purposes of conviction. Now, with regards to the current proceeding before the House of Representatives, alam po natin lahat na natapos na ang determination of probable cause ng Justice Committee. Na-approve na rin po ng Justice Committee ang committee report along with the resolution setting forth the articles of impeachment. As a matter of fact, we have transmitted already all these documents to the plenary. Now, we are anticipating that this coming Monday, we will be given the opportunity to defend the committee report, no? To defend the findings of probable cause, to defend the articles of impeachment. We will anticipate that there will be debate in as far as our findings of probable cause is concerned. Pwede rin natin i-anticipate the proceeding that we had in the Justice Committee might be questioned by some of the members of the House. But we will be responding to all the questions of the House members. What is important is for the Justice Committee to be able to sponsor, defend this committee report along with the resolution and the articles of impeachment. And after the debate, we can look forward to the plenary vote. The vote will be nominal. Ibig sabihin, tatawagin bawat miyembro ng House of Representatives to cast their vote whether the same is yes or no. On the assumption only that we will be able to get at least 1/3 vote of all the members of the House, then this means that the articles of impeachment will be transmitted immediately to the Senate, no? Now, if we fail to get that 1/3 vote, the effect of the same will be automatic dismissal of the impeachment complaint, no? That would be all.
So ano mangyayari sa pag nag-convene na yung plenary sa Monday? Will you read the report or summarize it?
I will be delivering a sponsorship speech which basically describes the proceeding that we had in the Justice Committee, we will be presenting as well in our sponsorship speech the consolidated grounds of impeachment, which is now under one set of articles of impeachment. You will remember that this is originally Saballa complaint, which has 6 grounds, and Cabrera complaint, which has 7 grounds. But upon the motion of Congresswoman Laila de Lima, the Justice Committee decided to consolidate all these grounds. The similar grounds were put under one article only, and now we have one set of articles of impeachment. This is the articles of impeachment set forth by the resolution approved by more than the majority members of the Justice Committee, at ito rin po ang nakapaloob dito sa ating committee report. So, in conclusion, the sponsorship speech will deal on the summary of the entire proceeding, the grounds or the articles incorporated under one set of articles of impeachment. We will be discussing as well the evidence that we have established so far, plus our submission that the Justice Committee found probable cause, in which case we will be soliciting the affirmation or the support of the members of the House of Representatives.
Ma'am, these articles of impeachment, kakaiba sa ibang resolution. It needs no majority votes ng mga miyembro. Ma'am, paano kung magko-sponsor o magko-author dun sa resolution na yan, ay more than 106 na? Hindi ba tantamount sa approve na ito?
Well, actually, under the Constitution, ang requirement po is at least 1/3. We are 318. So, a vote of 106 House members is already enough to solicit the approval of the committee report, the resolution, as well as the articles of impeachment. Yun po yun. 106 vote is enough to solicit the approval of these documents and to warrant the transmittal of the articles of impeachment to the Senate.
Sabam, anong botohan dito ang gagawin? Sigawan, viva voce, o ipapaliwanag ng bawat isang kanilang mga magiging boto?
This will be nominal voting, which means that the House members will be called one after the other. They will be casting their vote by saying yes or no. But as to the opportunity to explain, perhaps we will leave it to the Rules Committee, whether the same will be provided to the members of the House.
Ma'am, from your vantage point, is there a need to secure more votes other than what is required in the Constitution?
From my perspective, yes. Because in the Justice Committee, it's 53-0 sa probable cause, 55-0 pagdating sa approval ng committee report. So, I believe that the House of Representatives should be able to show as well the unanimity of their position, the same way that the Justice Committee was able to show the same.
What if, ma'am, you fail to, the leadership fails to secure the same number of votes garnered when the impeachment of the Vice President was first discussed at the plenary last year? Ang ibig bang sabihin nito, ma'am, that the support in the House has weakened?
Well, it only means that the members are having a lot of things which they are considering, no? Kasi if you will remember, the grounds are almost the same. The grounds in the first impeachment back to the 19th Congress and the grounds under the current impeachment, now that we are under the 20th Congress, they're almost the same, no? So if some members are changing their position on this impeachment, it only means that there are factors which are present now, not present before, which probably affect their position today.
Ma'am, follow-up na lang. Last year, hindi namin narinig yung mga salitang will vote based on their conscience. But it's now na medyo frequently naririnig namin yon. Ano yung motibasyon? Bakit all of a sudden may mga ganitong kolatilya? Samantalang nung nakaraang taon, ma'am, nag-uunahan pa yung mga kasamahan ninyo sa pagpirma.
Perhaps it has something to do with other factors to consider in deciding on this impeachment, no? Ito, I discussed this already in the other interviews. One, of course, is how a member of the House appreciate the evidence. Second is the fact that the members of the House are all political personalities, which means that they are considering as well their political interest. Third, the fact that the national election is already approaching. So I think these are reasonable considerations for the House members. If ever those who voted in favor of impeachment during the 19th Congress will be changing their mind under the current impeachment.
Magbibigyan ba ng opportunity yung mga, halimbawa, yung mga congressmen na Dutertes to explain why they don't agree with the impeachment case?
Well, there will be debate after the sponsorship speech, and I think everybody will be given the opportunity to participate in the debate, no? I'm quite sure about that, the interpellation. But with respect to the explanation of vote, siguro i-consider din ng rules kung ilan ang House members who are interested to explain their vote. This is actually a privilege which is given to the House members, but of course, kino-consider din ilan ba ang gustong mag-explain ng kanilang position about the impeachment. Perhaps if they wish to participate, it's better to participate in the interpellations so that the Filipino people will hear their arguments, which the Justice Committee will definitely respond.
Si Congressman Puno, nagsabi ka makailan na may mga pressure. Kaya sa kanyang estimate, 150 to 180 lamang ang maaaring pumirma para sa impeachment. Binanggit niya yung seeming popularity sa Mindanao ni Vice President Sara Duterte at sa mga non-Mindanaoan, may binanggit siyang 3 letra. May pressure daw mula sa INC. Tanong ko po sa inyo, naramdaman po ba niyo yung pressure na yun?
Well, of course, on that concern, I can speak only for myself, no? Wala po akong naramdamang pressure, neither from the leadership nor from the INC. Since day one of our proceeding in the Justice Committee, maliwanag po ang appreciation natin dito. This is not a matter of choice. This is a matter of duty. Whether I like it or not, I need to proceed because this is the mandate of the Constitution.
Sa mga kasamahan yung mambabatas, narinig niyo po ba na tumutugma yung kwento dun sa mga nabanggit ng ni Congressman Puno?
Well, I do hear that from my colleagues. Discussions about the INC, discussions about the approaching national election, discussions about the position of the party leadership. But nonetheless, in my humble submission, I think ultimately it will be the conscience of the members of the House which will prevail at the actual voting, no? After you have considered the evidence, after you have considered the party position, I think at the end of the day, ang dapat isipin, or sana ang isipin, will be for the best interest of the Philippine nation.
Ma'am, ang naririnig natin, ang binabanggit na ehemplo, nung nakaraang eleksyon, may 2 congressista sa Maynila na muntik na pinatikim na ng 2 pressure na ito. Congressman Chua at saka si Congressman Benny Abante. Yun ho ba sa palagay nyo epektibong pressure o surmountable pressure para dun sa mga gustong pumirma sa impeachment?
Perhaps it depends on the House member, no? If you are affected or perhaps threatened by maneuvering like what you witnessed to what happened to Congressman Joel Chua and Congressman Benny Abante, perhaps the House member will be affected, no? But if the appreciation about the constitutional duty is heavier, then the House member will be maintaining to consider what is best for the country and the Filipino people.
Ma'am, yan ho bang dalawang pressure na yan, o pressures, ang pinag-ugatan kung bakit yung tanong ng kasama nating si Tenten, naririnig na ngayon yung salitang conscience vote?
Well, I cannot speak for the House members, no? But ever since in the 19th Congress, I think that is a very reasonable thing to consider. Na you do not just consider the evidence, you do not just consider the party position, you must consider also what is being dictated by your conscience. And by conscience, it means what is morally right, what is best for the Filipino people, what is best for the welfare of our country.
Okay. Ma'am, of course, sabi nga nila, yung politics ngayon almost exact science na. Namamap na kung sinong boboto kay ganon, kung saang geographic location, malakas ang ganito, ganong grupo. Ma'am, yung ba'y napag-usapan man lang ninyo ng mga kapartido ninyo, kagrupo ninyo mga kongresista, para ma-estimate ninyo kung ilan ang matitira sa mga bumoto at ilan ang madadagdag sa pwedeng mga bumoto?
Are you talking about the voting in the plenary?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, hindi. Sapagkat ang focus po natin is only on the proceeding. As a matter of fact, I will be standing in the plenary, I think this coming Monday, but I never preempted as to who will be voting in favor of the impeachment and who will not be voting in favor of the impeachment. In other words, my focus only is to defend the findings of probable cause of the Justice Committee. As to who will be voting to affirm the same, we're leaving that up to the exclusive judgment of the members of the House of
So, ma'am, you are
Representatives.
giving the reason, but you are not campaigning.
No, I'm not campaigning.
Sino magpe-preside sa session sa Monday?
Let me just
Speaker.
clarify that. I'm not campaigning in the sense that I don't reach out to House members. I don't call them. I don't talk to them. But of course, the purpose of standing in the plenary this coming Monday is to defend the findings of the committee and to solicit the affirmation of the rest of the House members that the findings is correct, that the appreciation is correct, that this must be transmitted to the Senate for trial. But other than that, I do not resort to other means to be able to communicate to the House members. As a matter of fact, when I stand in the plenary this coming Monday, that will be the first time that I will be discussing it publicly to all the members of the House of Representatives.
But will the plenary allow yung dissenting votes? Halimbawa, from members of the Duterte family na nasa Congress or yung mga young congressmen na tumitira sa
Well, since this is a political exercise, of course we anticipate that there will be members of the House who are against the findings of the Justice Committee. So they will be making manifestations, they will be raising questions perhaps on constitutionality and the manner of appreciation of evidence. We anticipate all this. And I think that's part of due process, so that there will be thorough deliberation before the voting on the approval of the committee report.
Ma'am, gaano magiging lenient at maunawain yung liderato ng Kamara sakaling yung target natin na numero ay hindi ma-achieve? Magre-resulta ba ito dun sa posibleng rigudon sa membership at leadership ng mga major committees? Even speakership for that matter.
I cannot speak for the leadership, no? Pero gaano ba ka-lenient ang leadership? Well, I think everybody understands naman that this is a political exercise. There are a lot of national parties in the House. So, tingin ko naman even the leadership is anticipating that there will be some members of the House, we do not know the number, who will not be supportive of the Justice Committee. As to whether this will result to the reorganization of the leadership, perhaps let's wait and see kung anong mangyayari.
Yung konteksto sa tanong ko na ito, ma'am, ay dahil alam naman natin na yung mayorya ngayon sa Kamara ay binubuo ng coalition of political parties. Nakikita po ba natin na pagkatapos nitong historic na botohan na ito sa Lunes, nakikita ba natin yung pagtalon ng mga ibang dating kabilang dun sa majority coalition papunta dun sa opposition?
I am very much conservative in my approach in this political exercise, and it has never been my practice really to preempt things from even before they happen, no? So, I really cannot comment if ever there will be House members who will be transferring from one party to another after the result of voting on these articles of impeachment.
Sige ma'am, medyo i-rephrase ko lang ng konti yung tanong. Baka makakuha kami ng sagot. Ma'am, alam naman natin na nakakati ang House generally sa minority at majority. Pag bumoto ko sa speaker, yung nanalong speaker, you are...
Important concerns which are being voted upon in the plenary. This is just one constitutional process where the decision, the positions of the House members will be solicited. Ako, from my end, I don't think that this will immediately result to transferring to the minority.
Ma'am, kayo po yung lawyer, so magaling po kayo sa semantics. Sabi nyo, this is just the one. Hindi ho ba, this is the one?
Yeah, I understand and I recognize that this is a very important political process, no? But there are other policies, issues which are being voted upon, which are equally important to this political process as well, no? So, tingin ko naman, hindi naman ito lang yung magiging consideration ng leadership in deciding with respect to the perceived reorganization, should I say, after this political exercise.
Ma'am, since you will defend the articles of impeachment, tama ba na ang kasunod kong inference, kayo magiging lead ng prosecution team?
That's another matter which I cannot preempt, no? Well, of course, I acknowledge na back in 19 Congress, tayo po ay bahagi ng prosecution panel. But this is a different situation already. We do not know whether we will be elected. And let me make it clear to the viewing public, ang pagiging taga-usig po, being one of the prosecutors, we do not volunteer. We will be elected by the plenary. So first and foremost, I don't know if we will be elected to join the prosecution panel, no? And as to whether we will be considered to lead, I cannot preempt that as well.
Pero meron ng names na nagka-crop up sa prosecution panel.
Since I presided the Justice Committee, I took the initiative of volunteering names of justice members who have correct appreciation of the case. Mahalaga po na ang tatayong taga-usig or prosecutors ay lubos na nauunawaan ang kaso. And
Tsaka dapat lawyers.
well, under the rules, wala po tayong ganyang requirement. If we examine the rules of impeachment, even the rules of the Senate, they do not require that the prosecutor should be members of the bar. No, wala pong ganyang requirement.
Even the judges.
Yes, and we've seen that in the past impeachment processes, no? Kaya lang, since alam po natin that ang pupuntahan nito ay trial, I think it is a reasonable position to say na between a lawyer and a non-lawyer, lawyers have better appreciation of these impeachment complaints.
Mama, ang question ko po sa inyo, ay yung quote-unquote, magbebenta ng articles of impeachment. Ayaw pala gamit salita magbebenta. Kayo ang magtutulak, magpupursige na ma-approve sa plenary. Kayo ang chairman ng Committee on Justice. So, I suppose kayo yung pinakang knowledgeable at this point. Hindi ba ma'am, pag nagtagumpay at binotohan ito ng nakararami o ng sapat na bilang, ang tagumpay dapat na doon sa trabaho ng ang pasasalamat nasa sa Committee on Justice. Pag hindi naman ito nakalusot sa plenaryo, liliman po ang bumoto, 55, ay sigurado po ako kayong sisisihin. So hindi ba ma'am, it goes without saying, dapat kayo na rin yung lead prosecutor?
Let's leave it up to the plenary, no? And ako, confident po ako in my capacity as Justice Chair, napakahuhusay po ng taga-Justice Committee. They really have the correct, accurate appreciation of the case, including the evidence in support of the different articles of impeachment, which now are 4 only, no? Confidential fund, unexplained wealth, bribery, threat. That's how we consolidated the different grounds of impeachment, no? And to conclude my point, regardless of what will happen in the plenary vote, I can honestly say that I am very much thankful to all the justice members for the job well done. I commend them for their appreciation, the correct appreciation of the case which I observed since day one until we voted on the approval of the committee report. Perhaps some may not be observing, ang chairman po ng Justice Committee, I never voted in the so many concerns that we voted on in the Justice Committee, no? I was just observing how the justice members vote. And indeed, I do commend them for their correct appreciation of everything that we resolve before the Justice Committee. Ang daming beses po nilang bumoto. One is on the form, next is on substance, third is on the ground, and fourth is on probable cause. And I really commend how they appreciated both the arguments and the evidence which guided them in voting on these 4 important questions before the Justice Committee.
Ano yung magiging role ng private prosecutors as compared to yung prosecutors ng Justice Committee?
Well, just on the assumption na makalusot po ito sa plenary, no? Because this is my first time also to participate in an impeachment, if ever, in the trial. Ang nakikita ko po sa ordinary criminal case hearing, the private prosecutor must always be under the control and supervision of the public prosecutor. which means that the public prosecutors should always be the lead, and the private prosecutors can assist. We checked also what happened during the Corona impeachment. Ang sabi ni then presiding officer, JPE, Juan Ponce Enrile, yung mga parliamentary concerns must be done by the public prosecutors. But the private prosecutors can participate both in the direct and in the cross-examination.
Ma'am, yung Senado, for lack of better term, ay kilalang kuta ng mga masugid na taga-suporta ng pangalawang Pangulo. Do you think when the trial starts, dadalo ang pangalawang Pangulo dito, bagay na hindi niya ginawa sa kabila ng napakaraming imbitasyon ng inyong komite?
I wish to believe na dadating ang Vice Presidente. Why? Not only because of what you said na ito yung kuta ng mga kakampi, no? But because this is her last opportunity to present her evidence. And if she will be missing this opportunity, then we have reason to believe na baka nga mag-result ito sa conviction. I think she should participate fully this time to be able to present her evidence, counter the evidence of the prosecution, dahil wala pa naman pong judgment. This trial may result to conviction, but it may also result to acquittal, depending on the evidence which will be presented by the defense. Because we've seen already the complainant's evidence, no? We've seen them already. They were enough to sustain probable cause, but as to whether they are enough to sustain conviction, it depends on the defense evidence which will be presented. Pero kung hindi maglalatag ng ebidensya ang depensa, we can actually anticipate the appreciation of the senator judges that the complainant's evidence might be sufficient to support conviction. Because it will remain unrebutted kung walang maglalatag ng ebidensya from the defense. Napakahirap po nun. Kahit po sa ordinary court proceeding, pag naglatag ng ebidensya ang complainant, walang nilatag ang depensa, yun pong ebidensya ng complainant, we consider it unrebutted, unquestioned, no? In which case, there's a big chance of appreciation by whoever will resolve the case.
Ma'am, all the charges leveled against the Vice President are now in the open. Gusto lang namin kunin yung opinion nyo bilang isang batikan at hinahangaan na manananggol. What could be her strongest defense at this point?
Mas maganda siguro sa depensa itanong yan. To be very honest with you, I'm totally clueless. And even if I put myself in the shoes of the defense, I would really find it very difficult how to establish my defense. Having seen the evidence presented by the complainant already, most especially the AMLAC report vis-a-vis the SALN.
Ma'am, itong impeachment isang polarizing exercise. Pero even before this impeachment proceedings, polarized na ang ating lipunan eh. Polarized din yung Senado. Nabanggit niyo yung corona trial, ganun din naman ng panahon ng corona trial eh. Polarized na ang Senate, polarized ang lipunan for or kontra corona. Pero yung boto, tatatlo ang natira for corona. Ang tanong ko sa inyo, ma'am, yung ganun bang sitwasyon ay pwedeng mangyari muli?
Well, ang daming factors which can actually change the position of the senator judges, no? Well, in fact, medyo unfair nga na parang piniprejudge na natin yung position ng mga senator judges. As you can see, none of them is commenting on the merits of the impeachment complaint, on the articles of impeachment rather, because they are very much conscious that as senator judges, they need to be impartial, they need to be independent. And that is why, apart from political affiliation, the prosecution really have this huge task of presenting the evidence very well, no? Because even if your political affiliation is with the vice president, if the evidence is so overwhelming that even the general public is already supportive of conviction, how can an ally of the vice president vote against conviction? If it is seen by the general public, it might cause his own political interest. That's why evidence is very important. Alam po natin na merong existing political affiliation ang ating mga senador. But I am confident that they will be very, very cautious in casting their vote, in deciding on the impeachment, depending on the strength of the evidence which will be presented. Because at the end of the day, sila kasama sa huhusgahan. If they vote against the evidence, and the evidence is so overwhelming, it might cost their political interest.
So ma'am, we are hoping for enlightened self-interest ng mga senator judges.
I think so. I think so. Just like the members of the House, no? That's how I appreciate it, no? Co-consider nila yung evidence, co-consider nila yung political affiliation, but at the end of the day, ang mananaig sa kanila, the best interest of the Filipino people. Which means that kung ano ang matimbang sa sambayan ng Pilipino, I think they will go for that.
Kung magkaroon na unexpected turn of events na merong mag-move sa ilang senators na stop yung trial, what can they do?
Dapat may basis.
Run to the Supreme Court, gano'n?
Well, we do not want to anticipate a situation na just because of political affiliation, they will be moving to stop the impeachment trial. They will be moving not to convene the impeachment court. Dapat may basis. As a matter of fact, we should remember there are, I think, 4 petitions pending before the Supreme Court. All of them are questioning the constitutionality of the proceeding before the House. But to this date, wala naman pong TRO. Wala naman pong injunction. Which means so far, they have not seen any violation of the rules, the Constitution, and the decisions of the Supreme Court in as far as impeachment process is concerned. No? So I hope that the senators will be mindful of the importance of this political exercise. As a matter of fact, there's a specific article in the Constitution dedicated for impeachment. So, the decision of whether to stop or not should not be based solely on political affiliation. Let the people hear. Ano bang dahilan? Bakit gusto mo itong ipatigil? May question ka ba ng unconstitutionality? Are you mindful that there are petitions already pending before the Supreme Court? In the absence of reason, sufficient basis for a motion to stop convening the impeachment court, baka, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, it might cost the political interest of the senator already. Because I think survey now about having the impeachment trial is very much in favor of proceeding to Senate for trial. Which means, ang gusto ng Pilipinong nakararami ay magkaroon ng tamang paglilitis dito sa impeachment na ito?
Ma'am, help us understand more. Kasi may nagsasabing ang Supreme Court daw masyadong overreaching, overacting nga, sabi ng mga non-lawyers. Ang tanong ko po sa inyo, ano ho ba talaga yung ibig sabihin ng three co-equal branches ng ating government? Kung ang Supreme Court ay aakto ng ganun, pinasukan yung usapin ng impeachment, pinatigil ang impeachment, mukhang the gods of Padre Faura must be that supreme. Yung courtesy naman, kung nakabati lang po sa courtesy yung pagiging co-equal, yung budget ng Supreme Court, kahit alam niyo mahigit 20% dyan, bakante yung mga pwesto. And yet, hindi nyo iniisa-isa kung magkano talagang ginagasto sa sweldo. At the end of the fiscal year, dinedeklarang savings, tapos pinaghahati-hatian bilang bonus. Pero hindi ini-scrutinize ng mga kongresistang budget ng Supreme Court in the name of respect and being co-equal. Pero parang yata nare-reciprocate yung equal respect na binabagay. So, ang tanong ko po sa inyo, ano pa talaga pinagbabatayan para maging co-equal? Kasi kung pahintuin ng Supreme Court yan, ano gagawin? Sabi ni Senator Tito Soto, trabaho namin to . Imagine yung Senate President, pinagpapaliwanag ng Supreme Court doon sa kanyang comment, na ginawa niya bilang Senate President at bilang Senador. Ma'am, your explanation please.
Well, of course, we adhere to the principle of separation of power, na ang executive ang tagapagpatupad, ang legislative ang tagagawa ng batas, ang legislative din ang taga-dinig ng impeachment process na ito. Initiation belongs to the lower house, trial and judgment belongs to the Senate. At ang hudikatura naman, ang taga-interpret at resolve ng lahat ng mga issues concerning our existing laws, no? Nevertheless, regardless of our opinion on how the Supreme Court is addressing questions of constitutionality which are being filed before them, let us always remember that the Supreme Court is the final arbiter in all issues concerning our existing laws, rules, decision, and that includes issues concerning the impeachment process. In other words, regardless of how I think, and regardless of how you think, under a civilized society like ours, we should recognize that authority of the Supreme Court as the final arbiter.
So ma'am, ang impeachment court, dalawang presiding officer. Yung Chief Justice at saka yung Senate President. Pinagpapaliwanag nga nung...
The Chief Justice will be the presiding officer if the official being impeached is the President.
Yep.
But this time,
Senate President lang.
the Senate President will preside because the impeachable official concerned is the Vice President.
So ma'am, may chance bang mangyari yung sinabi ng isang senador, Robin Padilla, sabi niya, tungkulin daw nila sa minorya na umopose, kaya nga the opposition Exactly yun ang kanyang words na ginamit. Pwede bang mangyari yun na magbotohan yung senador? Ayaw namin ng impeachment, mas marami kaming umaayaw. Pwede bang mangyari yun?
So we respect Senator Robin Padilla, no? But in the absence of reason, of basis, why the impeachment court should not be convened, I think it will be very difficult to understand why they will move not to convene. Dapat ilatag muna nila ano bang dahilan. Kung ang Supreme Court nga, to this date, they're not issuing TRO, they're not issuing an injunction, he should give us opportunity to hear first. Ano bang dahilan nyo why you are against convening the impeachment court? Because his reason, na just because they are opposition, they will be going against convening the impeachment court or going against the impeachment. That's very difficult to understand. This is a political exercise. What is at stake is the best interest of the sovereign Filipino people.
Medyo hindi ko narinig yung isang word na binanggit nyo. Ano binanggit nyo? We expect o we respect? Yung paliwanag ni Robin.
I respect Senator Robin, but his statement is quite difficult to understand in the absence of reason or basis why we should not proceed to convening the impeachment court.
Last week, sabi nung isang lawyer na resource person natin, he does not expect Sara Duterte to appear before the Senate. What do you think? Yeah.
Ako, I do not want to preempt whether she will appear or not. But if I were in her shoes, I will appear because this is my last opportunity to present my case. If I miss this opportunity, then I should anticipate the possibility of losing this case. Or in other words, receiving a judgment of conviction.
Sino ba harap sa na lawyers ni Sara?
I anticipate that the legal team she introduced before will be the same legal team who will be appearing this time. I think that's Fortuna Narvasa, along with Attorney Poa. That's what I see during their press conferences.
In February of this year, ma'am, the Vice President has announced her intent to run for President in 2028. Knowing fully yung nitty-gritty at nung kasong ito na kinakaharap niya, how will this impact her chances, ma'am, from your vantage point again?
Well, ako po naniniwala na malaki ang epekto nitong impeachment trial na ito on the possibility of the president, of the vice president, being elected in 2028. I think the issue now is whether she will be elected or not, because the fact of running has been pronounced already by her, no? I express my faith to the sovereign Filipino people that whatever will be the decision of the impeachment court, as a matter of fact, I believe that the proceeding in the Justice Committee already affected the position of the Filipino people on whether or not they will be supporting VP Sara for president, no? Yes, she has pronounced already her intention to run, but this is only my humble opinion that the proceeding before the Justice Committee, the evidence that they saw during the proceeding, what will happen in the plenary on Monday, and what will happen in the trial, even without conviction, just the fact that the people were able to see the evidence, I think this have huge impact already on the chances of the president as to whether she will be elected or what.
Ma'am, nabanggit nyo rin kanina kasi na pinanood nyo yung corona trial. Nung naaalala, hindi nyo eksakto, pero portion lang. Kami po noon nakatutok noon kasi we are young enough din para inabot yung corona trial. Napansin po namin, kapag yung mga private prosecutors ang nagsasalita, binabardagol ng mga senator judges to the point na hindi nga makapagsalita binubulabog, sabi ng mga Tagalog, binubulabog yung pagkasalita. So, lesson learned ba yun na pagka medyo yung usapin contentious ang patatayuin at magdedepensa yung congressman na prosecutor?
Well, kung ako if I will be part of this prosecution panel, siguro isa lang ang parameter ko, yung familiarity ng prosecutor to the ground, no? Regardless of whether he is a public or private prosecutor. And to your observation about Bardagulan, I think if that happens, with courtesy, I will be manifesting my observation that the questions being raised are no longer relevant to the impeachment case.
Sige.
Teka, gamit ka ng microphone para kinig na lahat yung tanong.
Senator Amy Marcos is claiming now na there's a massive incentive package to secure a yes vote sa House of the Representatives for the impeachment. The offer includes 50 million in cash, 3 million peso in additional MOOE per month, and 150 million peso worth of projects per congressman na boboto daw ng yes. May naririnig po ba kayong ganon sa House of Representatives? Totoo po ba yun or hindi?
Of course, I can speak for myself only, and I deny that pronouncement of Senator Amy, with all due respect to her. Wala po akong na-encounter na ganyan.
And ang sabi po niya doon naman daw sa boboto ng no, zero budget and possible legal charges.
I deny that as well, in as far as I am concerned, wala po tayong naririnig, na-encounter na ganyan. As a matter of fact, wala pong kumausap sa akin regarding this impeachment process since day one of our proceeding in the Justice Committee.
Thank you, ma'am. Sa Monday, interpellation lang po ba yun ng debate or do we expect na ng botohan? Gaano po ba katagal ang itatagal ng interpellation?
What I anticipate is we will be allowed to deliver our sponsorship. It will be followed by debate, and then after the debate, we should proceed to vote. We understand that this is a constitutional process which must not be delayed. As a matter of fact, you can see from the rules, every step of the way, there is a period provided when to finish, which means that this must be acted upon with haste. So kung ako ang tatanungin ng plenaryo, I am really inclined that these articles of impeachment be voted upon as well this coming Monday, right after the sponsorship and the debate.
So possible abutin po ng madaling araw
I don't know.
hanggang sa magkabotohan.
Depende siguro sa dami ng gustong mag-raise ng questions, no? But of course, we are confident, not only myself, the justice members are ready to respond to all their questions.
Ma'am, nasa na po yung selyadong kahon ng ITR ng mga mag-asawang carpet?
Ang selyadong kahon po, I believe, ay kasama sa na-endorse na transmit papunta sa plenaryo. Wala na po sa amin yung kaso, you will remember, because the Justice Committee already transmitted the committee report to the plenary, and that includes all the records. So I believe that this is in the custody of the plenary already. As to which specific committee, I'm not so certain.
Dadalhin po ba yun sa Senado just in case ma-transmit doon yung...
Kung ma-affirm ng plenaryo ang decision ng Justice Committee, yes, even the sealed box of the BIR will be transmitted by the House of Representatives to the Senate.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, follow-up ko yun. Hindi nyo nakita yung laman ito? Ma'am, napakalakas ang loob nyo. Nagagamitin yung ebidensya, yung bagay na hindi nyo alam kung ano ang laman.
Yeah, you are correct about that. As a matter of fact, that was expressed by Congresswoman Laila De Lima during our debate whether to open or not. Napakahirap daw na itra-transmit natin sa Senado something which we do not know what is inside, no? But since this is part of the proceeding of the Justice Committee, kasama ito sa mga nag-gather namin in the exercise of our compulsory process, I think it's fair enough na kasama din ito sa itra-transmit natin doon sa Senado.
Ma'am, itatransmit ito, bahagi ng nag-gather nyo, pero ito po ba'y tutukuyin nyo na ebidensya o hindi?
It is not yet considered as evidence because as a matter of fact, wala naman tayong nakita dahil hindi natin binuksan, but we are interested to see what is inside as well. And we honestly believe that we transmit this, if we transmit this to the Senate will be in the better position to open this.
Ma'am, sa impeachment nun kay dating Pangulong Erap Estrada, may halos kahalintulad yan eh. Yung second envelope ba yun? Na ayaw buksan, may gustong buksan, hindi pinabuksan, nag-EDSA 2, nalaglag si Erap. Bandang huli, nung nireconvene yung Senate as an impeachment court, binuksan, wala pala namang smoking gun. So, well, hindi kaya baliktad naman ang mangyari o kabaliktaran na pag binuksan, maaring mag-exonerate pa dun sa inyong isinasakdal?
Well, actually, ang laman po nung kahon, I believe, are ITR. Sapagkat yan po ang sinapina namin. We issued subpoena duces tecum to the BIR to produce the income tax returns of the Vice President and spouse, no? But as to the amount reflected as income of the spouses, hindi po namin alam kasi hindi nga po namin nabuksan. Pero dalawang bagay lang po yan. It's either they will be able to justify the SALN, including the AMLAC report, or they will not be able to justify. Dalawang bagay lang po yun. Yun pong 6.7 billion na AMLAC report, pwede na maipaliwanag ng ITR na meron silang ganun karaming kinikita from their personal income, no? Yun pong 88 million na net worth sa SALN, kasi pag kwenta nyo po yung sweldo nila, 30 million lang dapat. But it's 88 million. So we have to see from the ITR, meron ba silang malaking personal income from their businesses, kaya nagkaroon sila ng net worth na 88 million. So dalawang bagay lang po. It's either the ITR will be able to explain both the net worth in the SALN and the 6.7 billion total covered in suspicious transactions, or they cannot explain that.
So ma'am, I can sense kung saan nagagaling ang inyong confidence. Pag naipaliwanag ng ITR na pwede pala yung 6.7 billion pesos, mahirapang ipaliwanag yung veracity ng kanyang SALN. Pag tumugma doon sa kanyang SALN, yung kanyang ITR, mahirapang ipaliwanag yung report ng AMLAC.
I agree to that because the SALN and the AMLAC report are contradictory. No? So if the ITR will be able to explain the SALN, definitely it cannot explain the AMLAC report.
So,
But if it can explain the AMLAC report, definitely it will not be able to explain the SALN.
damn if you close, damn if you open.
Either way, a lot of things need to be explained.
Ma'am, you've been presiding the Justice Committee for a couple of months now. Can you walk us through the experience, good or bad?
Well, it was indeed challenging considering the number of petitions already pending before the Supreme Court. Naghihiring kami, tapos at the back of our mind, there's always the possibility that we will be stopped by the Supreme Court, no? So, for us in the Justice members, isa lamang po ang tinutukan namin doon. Make it sure that we follow the letters of the rules of impeachment, the Constitution, and the decisions of the Supreme Court, no? Halos ginawa po naming Biblia yan, just to make sure that we do not deviate from the rules of the Supreme Court. Because, of course, bagaman nagkakaroon ng debate sa Justice Committee, like in the opening of the box, anong sabi ng mga congressman? This is a constitutional mandate. Impeachment should be considered as an exception to all those confidentiality, no? Pero nanaig po na wag buksan. Why? Because we are conscious that we owe as well to the Filipino people to be able to continue this impeachment process. And if this will be transmitted for trial, to be able to reach the finish line, whether she will be convicted or acquitted, no? Palagi pong nagkakaroon ng debate why we are compromising the authority that is exclusive to the House of Representatives. Palagi po yan ang tinatanong ng Justice members sa akin as Justice Chair. Why are we not asserting our exclusive authority? At isa lamang po ang sinasagot ko sa kanila. Utang din natin sa taong bayan na magtuloy-tuloy ang prosesong ito at makarating tayo sa dulo and finally marinig natin kung may pananagutan ba o wala ang ating Vice Presidente. If we become very aggressive in exercising our power without considering the possibility that a TRO might be issued, we will not be able to see anymore the conclusion of this case. And we owe this to the Filipino people. They need to see whether or not the Vice President is guilty or otherwise. Ang alam ko po may 4 na pending doon. Questioning the constitutionality of the proceeding before the Justice Committee, questioning the issuance of subpoena, alleging that this is a fishing expedition, no? Yun po yung mga allegations nila doon. But to this date, so far, awa ho ng Diyos, wala pang TRO at wala pa ring injunction na lumalabas. And considering that this is a constitutional duty, our position is to simply continue for as long as we are not being stopped by the Supreme Court.
Ma'am, para mas magulong usapan, nalantad na naman yung mga ebidensya sa pagdinig ng House of Representatives. Meron bang pipigil sa isang individual, sa isang taxpayer, na pagsamasamahin yung mga ebidensyang publicly available na at yung mga nabanggit na pangalan ay kasuhan ng plunder sa ombudsman?
Well, we cannot stop anyone who wishes to pursue a criminal case of plunder before the ombudsman, no? As a matter of fact, maalala nyo, during the time of the former ombudsman, they docketed the committee report of Congressman Joel Chua about the proceeding of the Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability. And I remember there are recommendations in the committee report about the filing of criminal cases. So this is also my question as to the status of this committee report, considering that the same has been docketed, which means kaso siya. It was treated as a case by the former ombudsman. E tanong ko din po iyon, ano na ho kaya ang status ng committee report na dinakit at kinonsider na reklamong kriminal ng dating ombudsman? Actually, it's not only a criminal case, but an admin case as well. And I understand that the same is not only against the Vice President, it includes even the officials of the OVP and DepEd, most especially the Special Disbursing Officer, the SDOs.
Hi, Kong. Good morning. Herlene Delgado po from ABS-CBN. Kong, I understand na you've already denied yung allegation ni Senator Amy, but just a similar, I just want to get your categorical answer on this. Natanong si VP Sara Duterte yesterday kung ano yung reaction niya dun sa reported enough votes sa plenary for her impeachment, and she said, so madami ang pumipera gamit ang pangalan ko, sana maambunan ang mga constituents nila ng mga pera sa kanilang bulsa o maleta. Your response.
Similar answer to that. I deny that. Wala po tayong na-encounter na mga ganyang offer. As a matter of fact, we consumed 2 months in the Justice Committee. Wala pong kumausap sa akin, nag-alok sa akin, nanakot sa akin. I deny the statement of the Vice President.
Ma'am, yung halagang binagit 50M, hindi naman sinabi kung worth of project, soft or infra. Pero 50M po yun, ang binanggit ni Senadora Amy. Ang tanong ko po sa inyo, hindi po ba kayo na-insulto? Kasi may vlogger na nakakahingi ng 75M 300 pala in total.
Ako kasi, I do not pay attention, so much attention on that, no? Tayo po'y nagfo-focus lamang sa ating trabaho, no? The task of defending the committee report before the plenary is really tough. So instead of focusing on the baseless statements of the people around, I would rather focus on how am I going to deliver my report to the plenary.
Sorry, i-correct ko lang. Not 50M, 5 million lang pala in cash. Ang sinasabi niyang ino-offer ni Senator Amy. Ang sabi ni Senator Amy na ino-offer, 5 million in cash, 3 million additional MOOE per month, and 150M yung projects ang ino-offer. Sorry.
Just for the record, similarly, I deny that statement.
Ma'am, for my last question. Sa mga kasong ganito bilang abogado, you hope for the best result, di po ba? Pero pinaghahandaan nyo rin na on the contrary yung lalabas na resulta. But sa kasong ito na lubhang sensitibo, kung sakasakaling ma-acquit ang pangalawang Pangulo, anong pakahulugan nito dun sa mekanismo ng impeachment?
Well, I am very much positive with what is happening. The fact that the impeachment process is proceeding, it means na we are observing the mandate of transparency and accountability. And of course, we are submitted that in all cases, it's not always conviction. There is an option or a judgment of acquittal as well, no? So we're open to that. After the judgment of the impeachment court, whether it is conviction or acquittal, we will simply move forward as members of the House to continuing our duty in the Congress and serving our constituents in our respective district. No? Again, ang appreciation po namin dito, duty eh. This is not a choice. Kasi kung kami ho ang tatanungin, ay baka ho, mas maiging kami nandun sa aming mga distrito at pinaglilingkuran ng aming constituents. But of course, this is a constitutional duty and we understand that. There is no option not to proceed. The only option is to proceed because that is the mandate of the Constitution, which represents the voice of the sovereign Filipino people. Wala hong option to decline eh. The only option is to continue for as long as the evidence is there. Ngayon, on the assumption po na i-approve ng plenaryo ang committee report, pagdating po namin sa trial, our mandate is to prosecute. Present the evidence of the House of Representatives. Now, if upon presentation of the defense's evidence, lalabas na mas malakas yung ebidensya nila, and on the assumption lang po, ang maging desisyon ng impeachment court is acquittal, we will accept that and move forward. What is important, we were able to deliver the accountability mechanism which is very much protected in our democratic system of government. Tayo po'y nasa ilalim ng demokrasya at pananagutan po natin sa taong bayan na magpaliwanag kung mayroong aligasyon ng katiwalian. Hindi po pwede nawalaan na lang. That's what accountability mechanism is all about. Kapag may aligasyon ng katiwalian, dapat ang taong gobyerno nagpapaliwanag, humaharap sa taong bayan. Ang mahalaga po sa amin, sa Justice Committee, is to be able to push through this accountability mechanism. Yun pong desisyon ng impeachment court, so long as it will be anchored on the evidence, we are prepared to accept whether the same is conviction or acquittal, so long as it is very much supported by evidence. Depende po siguro sa magiging sitwasyon. So long as the proceeding is relevant to the impeachment process, so long as everybody is following the rules, so long as there is basis for every decision of the impeachment court, I do not see that the public prosecutors will be doing the same thing. Mas gusto po namin, sir, na makarating ito hanggang dulo, so that the people will understand the decision of the senator judges. problema natin, sir, hindi nga ho humarap eh. And then the majority of the justice members decided not to open. And that is why I am looking forward na sana sa impeachment court, humarap siya. Because even the public prosecutors are interested to see her defense. And we will leave it up to the senator judges whether they will open or not the PIR box. Plenaryo. Again, yun pong naging huling boto natin sa Justice Committee. It is only on the determination of probable cause. And by probable cause, it was explained in the past impeachment processes. This is merely justification to be able to proceed to trial. No? You've seen the notices of disallowance, the decision of COA, the video of the Vice President, as well as the findings of the NBI. You've seen the AMLAC report vis-a-vis the SALN. Always remember, all of this are unrebutted. Unrebutted because the defense team never presented even one single evidence. Having said so, we are submitted to say that it even surpassed the requirement of probable cause. Enough for the Justice Committee to transmit it to the plenary and, with all due respect to the House members, enough for the plenary to transmit it to the Senate.
Okay, ma'am. Sa political side, kasi sabi nga nila, impeachment naman eh, it is also a political trial, political exercise. Ma'am, meron akong naririnig na nagsasabi na mahirap daw tumaya ang isang kongresista, maliban doon sa pressure ng dalawang grupong nabanggit na pag-usapan kanina. Kasi pag ikaw ay bumoto na for impeachment, kay congressman ka o senador, pabor sa impeachment, ang tingin sa'yo, ikaw ay anti-Sara. Kilala kung what you are against. Pero kung bumoto ka rin ng against sa Sara, hindi alam kung saan ka for, kung anong pabor. Hindi maliwanag kung ikaw ay pabor kay BBM o pabor kay ano. Kasi walang maliwanag kung sino yung alternative. Kaya ang seemingly, politically, ang mas may solidong foundation na tinatayuan ay si Sara. Ma'am, anong masasabi niyo sa ganitong political quibblings?
I think this is not about whether you are pro-VP or anti-VP. That is not the question in the impeachment process. The question is whether or not the Vice President still possesses the fitness to continue serving as Vice President and whether she's still qualified to seek for other public positions. That is the question. The fitness of the impeachable official to continue serving and to continue to possess the qualification to seek other public position. This is not about whether or not we are pro-VP or pro-administration or pro-whoever are as well seeking to run for president, no? Ang question po dito, maliwanag. The fitness of the Vice President to continue serving as such and the qualifications she possesses to be able to run to other public offices. Tungkol po sa pag-withdraw ni Attorney Kaufman as lead counsel ni former President, I can only surmise na hindi na siya fulfilled as a lawyer ng former President. And the decision came from Attorney Kaufman, not from the Duterte family. We've heard it, siya yung nag-withdraw. No? So, in plain view, ang interpretation ko lang po dyan, hindi na siya fulfilled, standing as the lead counsel of the former president. Perhaps the reason is, sa dami po ng attempts nila to question the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court, eh palagi naman po itong nadi-deny.
Ma'am, ano yun? White flag raising?
I don't know really how you are going to interpret that. It's not for us to comment on that. Perhaps it's better to ask the Duterte family.
Ma'am, kasi kung finire out siya, nung nagbabayad sa kanya, nahinaan sa kanya. Pero yung abogado ang umatras sa nagbabayad sa kanya, parang
Wala naman sinabing fired out siya. May sinabi ba?
wala po. Pero ang sabi niya, nag-withdraw siya eh.
Yeah. The
So-
report was simply he is withdrawing as lead counsel. I think we should not go beyond that.
Okay. On that note, we'd like to conclude this Saturday News Forum's episode for today. I would like to thank the chair of the House Committee on Justice, si Batangas Representative Jervil Luistro. At maraming salamat sa media na nagko-cover sa atin. We'll see you next Saturday.